name and where you're dialing in from into the questions section down the bottom. That'd be great, and love to hear from you, and then we'll get started in a few minutes. Welcome, Tinis and Leora. Annie, good to see you again. Ollie from Christchurch. Hope you've dried out down there, Ollie. Awesome. Okay, hey, let's get underway. Thanks to those of you who are here, and really keen to showcase to you a few of the things that we've got going on. So hopefully you can all see my screen now, and yeah, so we're going to talk today about four kind of key things. One is just an overview of responsive that we launched a little while ago, and I'll explain that. Some of the new header controls that the team here have been working on, the new feature area changes, and so all of these were launched probably 3 weeks ago now, but just keen to run over them now that they're all live and ready to go. And then just a roadmap of what's coming up for Rocketspark. So I just want to share a few of those things that we yeah, we're kind of working on, and just so you kind of know what's coming up. And then also just the last thing is around the new support system that we've just launched. So yeah, that's really exciting, and there's hopefully going to be a few not too many changes, but just a few improvements you'll see in terms of how quickly we can respond, and self-help and all that sort of stuff. So if you've got any questions, feel free just to fire them through. I've got Matt here, and he will be answering those throughout, but then at the end I'll go through and recap anything, and also answer any of those questions right at the end of the session as well. So first of all, let's have a chat about responsive and what that means. So I've got a site here which one of our partners in the UK has set up, which is Walsh Accounting, and so I'll show you kind of how that works with responsive. But first of all, I just wanted to talk quickly about what exactly is full responsive, and what does that mean. So essentially what it means is that on all different screen sizes, you get the best viewing experience. So you can see here I'm on quite a large screen, so we've got a really nice view here of what it looks like. And then as I bring my window in, you'll see there's a point where everything gets that little bit smaller, so right there. And so now it's viewing really nicely on kind of medium-sized screens, so normal laptops, things like that. And then I can go smaller again, and there's another point when it changes again, and now that's really nice viewing for iPads and for smaller laptop screens. And then we can go all the way in until we get to quite small tablets or mobile phones. Okay. Now, obviously, on my big screen, on a mobile phone, you're never going to see this length, so it's probably going to cut about here for most mobile phones. But you get the idea, and so this is how you can see what it's going to look like on all the different types of devices. So from mobile to small screen, to medium-sized screens, and then all the way out into the really large screens as well. So so that's what responsive is, and it's basically just ensuring that people are getting the best experience regardless of what screen size they're on. Now, historically with Rocketspark, you've always had a nice desktop version and a nice mobile version, but this just really caters for those different sizes in between, and the really large sizes as well. So how do you view the fully responsive version of a Rocketspark website? So obviously the best way is to log out of the editing system, and you can see it there and just rescale the window. There is obviously inside of Rocketspark, you can view the mobile version as well by clicking up the top here, and that will flick between mobile and desktop. You can't actually resize while you're logged in, and there's a few reasons for that. One is obviously with the editing controls, it gets really complicated to make it responsive, and all the editing controls as well. So we've just said you can view it at kind of the medium size like you always have. So to see what it looks like, you can just log out up here. That'll take you to the live site. If the little website isn't live yet, just when you're in dashboard, you can flick it online, even if the website's not upgraded, and you'll still be able to see it how it looks responsive, but as long as you're not logged in. Okay. So some of the questions we're getting asked, how can we get responsive for existing Rocketspark websites? So if you'd built your website before we launched responsive, we updated most of them automatically. So most of the sites that are on our system, we were able just to automatically update them to responsive. And to find out whether your sites are responsive or not, the easiest way to know is if you log into the dashboard of them. If they don't have this mobile site in the side menu, that means they are already responsive. So if that's not there, they're already responsive, it's not a problem. If this is here, normally you'll get presented with a screen that looks like this, and it will say, enabling responsive, we can't reverse that. If you have any custom work done on your website, contact us. And most of the time, that's why we didn't automatically upgrade you from the previous version into responsive. So normally it's because you've had some custom code added for your clients or to your own website. So the best thing to do is just flick an email through to support and say, these are the websites that I'm wanting to upgrade to responsive. Can you have a look at them and check the custom code on them, and then let us know what we need to do. And for us, we'll get our dev team to look at that. We will see how easy it is to upgrade. Most of the little tweaks are fairly straightforward, and it'll be a few minutes work for us just to upgrade them and then flick you across into responsive. Some of them might be a bit more complex, and if they're a bit more complex, we'll need to charge to upgrade them, but we'll let you know obviously before we do any work and what the cost would be and that sort of thing. So yeah, just something to keep an eye on. And if you are wanting to upgrade your sites to responsive and they haven't been, you can jump into here and contact us, and then we'll be able to look into getting those upgraded for you. So what's new on the mobile version? So if we just jump across up here into mobile, so there's a few new things. This header section is being updated. There's a new really nice menu animation, and then if you've got a feature area, a header over the feature area, then you get this nice image in the background as well. Is a new tap to call. Obviously, the key thing is that everything is scaled really nicely for mobile automatically, all of your add-ons. So we've had a few add-ons that haven't worked super nicely on our previous mobile, but now they do. So that's really nice. Any forms you've used from Typeform or Jotform or any of those add-on services, they all work really nicely on mobile now. And then the other thing is there's a new kind of mobile preview. So before you had to click up and down and click between your pages. Now you can use this exactly how you would use the website on a mobile, and click into the menu, click to the new page, and away you go. So so it's a really nice experience. One thing to note is that this is just a representation of what it should look like on a phone. So sometimes there are differences just because the phones might be different sizes to this, and so we've had a few things where on this preview the menu looks like it's cut off a little bit, but then every phone it's been viewed on, it's totally fine. So if there are any issues with this, just make sure you check it on a phone first. If there is issues when you've checked on a phone, absolutely let us know, but if it's just purely on this mobile preview, then no one's actually seen that. It's just the way that this has worked. So just something to note there. Cool. So if we jump back here, let's jump to the next section now, which is we're going to look at the header and the new features around header. So that's the header is this section here, where your logo is generally, and where your menu is situated as well. So if we jump into the edit design section, and we'll jump into logo and menu. So there's a bunch of new things here, and Matt, who's on the webinar with us here, he's responsible for most of this stuff, so did a really great job of making this as simple as possible. It's really nice and flexible, and it's going to give just those little extra design tweaks that people have been asking for. So probably the first thing is we now have that ability where you can have your menu and your logo sitting over top of your feature area. So like you can see here. So if down in here in the header section, we've got above the feature area, so that's where it actually sits above it and in its own bar. And then you've got below the feature area where it drops below, and we've had most of these before. And then now we've got overlay the feature area, so that's where it sits over top of it, and that's just really nice. It's a really nice way if you've got beautiful images to show show the menu. So the other thing you can do, and this is probably best displayed if we go to above, displaying above the feature area, is we can make the section that it sits in, so that header area, smaller and taller as well. And you can make it as tall as you like, pretty much, but as short as the content that you've got in there. So if we make this logo a little bit smaller, you can see that we can make the feature area, that header, shorter as well, and then we can make this taller, and then grow our logo, and then bring this up as well. So it's really nice just being able to tweak that. Previously we couldn't tweak that, and so sometimes you'd be left with large space because your logo had a bit of space around the outside or things like that. And then because we've now allowed that, we want to be able to reposition this menu. So by default we always have put the menu in the center of the logo, but sometimes the center of the logo isn't the best place to have it. And in this case there's a situation where obviously we've got the text at the bottom here that says Vista on this logo, and then so centering this menu with the center of the logo maybe doesn't make sense. So we actually might want to just drag that down and position that with the vista of the logo, so with the text and the logo. So just that really nice, being able to add that anywhere you like in that header section. It's just a really nice extra feature. And then being able to split the menu on either side of the logo as well. So you can see we've got the menu split evenly on either side, and these controls here mean that we can change the space in between these pages. So obviously with this logo we've got a bit of space where we can actually pull in quite close. There might be other logos where it comes all the way around here, and we might want to just drag that out a little bit more. So just being able to change that is really nice as well. So one thing to note with all of those features I've just shown you, they're not actually available on every single template. So for example, this the split menu on either side of the logo, you need to choose this template to start with. The feature menu over feature area, you'll need to make sure that you've chosen the right template for that to work. So if you are unsure and you're looking for a specific look, make sure you choose that template first, or choose the right template, and check you've got that functionality before you dive in and start doing too much work and then go, oh, I have to change template, and then you change the template and you lose some of those design settings, things like that. So this header control, you have that on all templates, and the menu control, but we're more talking around where that logo is situated. So if it's in the middle, being able to overlay the menu and logo over top of the feature area, things like that. So if I now put that over top of the feature area again, so with this, then what we've had to do is, obviously some people want to display a block underneath here, so an opaque block, so you can see that that goes the full width of the page. And again, we can crop this and reposition and do all those cool things. But sometimes, and we've got the opacity here, so you can increase that or drop that back. But often when you've done that over top of a nice photo, you might just want to do a little gradient background. And that's obviously because sometimes on photos you can lose some of the contrast between your menu and your logo and the image behind. And so let me just reload this. And so what we can see here is we can make, I'm just going to have to cancel this and go back in. Excuse me a second. Cool, and we'll just jump back into Edit Design and into here. So what we can do, you can see here, we can make the gradient less opaque or more opaque, depending on what you're wanting to do. Obviously, it can get quite dark if we go to a black one, but that might be necessary on some photos. And then the gradient height as well, so you can make it go quite a way, really, really short, or quite a way over the photo as well. So it just depends how dark you want it, or how light, or how much gradient you want. So have a play around there. You can obviously change the gradient color in there as well. So it can be really, really subtle, and that can create just a really nice look on there as well. So the other things that we've included, so we've had the menu font size and menu color for a little while, but we can now also do mouse over text as well. So let me just choose a different color here, and we'll just choose something a little bit ugly so that you can make sure you can see it. So let's go to a blue as our mouse over text. And so now when I hover my mouse over these menu items, they'll turn blue. Okay, so that's really nice, just that subtle difference, the slight difference there. And then if we go current page as well, let's make this into a purple. And so now you can see that the page I'm actually on is purple, and then when I hover my mouse, it's now blue. Okay, so there's some really nice little tweaks you can do there, just lifts that level of design as well. And the other thing that we launched at the same time, so I'm just going to cancel out of this, is a few new templates, and we've also moved the templates out of the edit design menu. So you can see here we've got a new templates section, and so we've got this one, which is the helicopter one. We've got this new one here, which is over the feature area again, but the menu on the left hand side, which is really nice as well. So if you're wanting your menu on the left, but over top of the feature area, your menu and logo, logo on your right and your menu over top of the feature area, then that's a really nice one as well. And one of the other ones we launched was actually just a redo of the one where we have the menu on the left hand side and the logo on the left hand side as well. So that's a really nice option, and this actually the menu will actually stay with you as you scroll down the page. So if you do have any clients that have wanting that kind of look, then there's a really nice option there as well. Cool, so that's everything to do with that new header section, and there's some really nice design options there as well. So the team have done a great job for that. So the next thing we're going to look at is the feature area. So that's all of this stuff, and the main thing we've done here is around the text. So let's jump in and edit that. So no doubt lots of you have already used this, but just so for those of you who maybe haven't, so the key thing is the positioning and editing of where this text sits. So first thing we've done, so we've got right aligned, centered, and left aligned, which when you've only got a little bit of text is fairly massive change. On larger lines of text like this, it's less. But then you can also set where you want those the line breaks to be as well, which is really nice. So really quickly you can edit how you want that to look, and then probably the best thing is just being able to adjust where in your feature area that sits. So pretty much what this means now is with left aligned, right aligned, and centered, you can now put this text virtually anywhere on your feature area, which just gives a lot of flexibility to that. Now this is set for all of this. If you have multiple slides on that slideshow on the feature area, and you have that different text for each slide, it'll keep it the same. It needs to, for consistency's sake, it will keep where it's situated the same for all the slides on that page, but you can change each page specifically, because sometimes there's different photos with different kind of blank spaces within those. So yeah, so that's a really nice editing feature there, just being able to move that wherever you want to go. If I then add some text under here, so a little blurb, so we'll say based in New York. And again, now we can just, move that, change where that's situated, anywhere in that section. And then let's add a button as well. And we'll link that to our tours page. And so now you can see we've got the button there, and we can move this anywhere over the page, and away we go. So it's really nice flexibility there. And so then the other thing you'll notice is we've now got this link direct to the styling for the text and the buttons and things like that. So let's click on that, and it will bring us directly through into here. And we've always been able to change the font and the text size and also the color of that. But probably the big changes here are around just adding a subtle text shadow behind headings, behind the blurbs. And this is just to make it stand out that little bit more from the image itself. And so historically what partners have had to do is actually put a overlay over the whole image, and sometimes that just dulls out the image too much. So just being able to put a little drop shadow in behind here just makes that text stand out a lot, and then we can do that as well for the blurb. And what we've given is to be able to give you like ultimate kind of flexibility there is you can change where the drop shadow sits, so horizontally and vertically, and then you can also change the blur of that as well. So you can either make it really, really blurry, so it kind of just fades in behind there, or you can make it quite sharp as well. Yeah, there's a lot of different flexibility there which will allow you to just get that text to really stand out. And then you can, the strength of that drop shadow as well. So the opacity of that can be there, and the color as well. And then some of our feedback we've had is that people have wanted to put just a box behind the text, just specifically behind the text, so they don't have to put that overlay over the whole image. And so what we've given you the option here is you can put it behind just the heading, or you can put it behind the heading and the blurb, or you can put it behind the heading, the blurb, and the button. And then obviously you can have it turned off as well. So there's lots of options of how you might want that to display. And then you can change the opacity of that as well to be really, really full and dark, or just really subtle. And just for those of you who love rounded corners, so we can also round the corners of that as well. So that if you've got buttons that have rounded corners like this one here, then obviously you can match that with the background that sits behind the text. So and again, you can apply this to all of your pages or just to this one page as well. So it depends on how you're wanting to use that. So it's just some really nice functionality there. As I drag this, obviously the background changes automatically as well. And as I move it up and down, and once I've added this to here, I can then say, oh, let's put it behind the blurb or behind the button as well. And then if we're wanting to change the button styling, then I can jump into here, choose a different color, and she pops out from behind there as well. If I change this to square corners for my button, then I'd probably want to hop into into here and change the corners back to square as well, obviously for consistency. So there's the that feature area setting. So there's some really nice things there that will just allow for a lot more customization of the feature areas. Cool, so let's jump through now to the roadmap, so what we've got coming up in terms of features. So a little bit of a disclaimer first, this roadmap is definitely up for change. It's not always really just kind of we're going to do this and then this and then this. Other things pop up. So, and I'll give you an example of that with the first feature, which is lay-by and zip pay. So we'll talk about that in a second. Secondly, is that we're not going to give any time frames for these because that can change dramatically as well. And so this is kind of what's on our third quarter and fourth quarter of this year, and even the order of them could change as well. So basically, this isn't for you guys to necessarily go out and just share with all of your clients and say, oh, this is coming and Rocketspark's going to do this. This is more just for you guys to know this is what we have on our radar and this is what we're looking to work on, but it could change. So we just want to keep you up to date with where things are heading. So the first thing, as you've seen, is we've got some new payment gateways that we're going to add. So one's called Laybuy, which is New Zealand based, and ZipPay, which is Australian based, and these are as you would think with Laybuy, being able to pay off your purchase. So the client still, user will still go in, add in their credit card details, and then they'll be charged for payments to however many they choose, 2, 3, or 4 payments to pay off their purchase, but their purchase is sent automatically. So the reason we've jumped in and done this is that we've had a lot of customers ask for this in the last probably 2 months, where we hadn't heard about it previously, and then these Laybuy and ZipPay kind of started in the last few months, and it went crazy, people asking for it. So that's why we've jumped on to doing that. These are both kind of in development at the moment, so should be released in the next little while, but these are actually underway. So yeah, so there's 2 more payment gateways if you've got clients asking for that. The next one is Go Sweet Spot, and this is in development as well. Go Sweet Spot is a shipping and courier system where we can push an order. So someone makes an order in the e-commerce shop, and then that can push directly through into Go Sweet Spot, and then the shop owner can then click on the order and choose which courier they want to pick up the package, and then can print the shipping invoice, so all the address and everything like that automatically on a label printer, stick it on their package, and then that automatically tells the courier to come and pick it up. So it's just going to streamline the shipping for lots of our customers really, really well. And lots of our customers are using this already and are actually doing it in manually, and so we just want to automate it for them. And this is in New Zealand, and they've launched into Australia, but they're not marketing that too much at the moment, but it will come in the next little while. They've already set up their Australian Post integration, and they're working through that. So it'll be launched in Australia really, really soon as well. So Go Sweet Spot is really nice for the shipping and freighting and things like that, process stuff. We're going to do a bit of work on coupons. So at the moment, our coupons are fairly simple. So there's some of that coming up. So if clients are asking about coupons in the shop, lots of these are shop features that we have been needing to do for a little while. So some pickup shipping options, so for people to be able to pick up in store, which currently we can offer, but we just want to make that a little bit nicer to people. Featured products, so been putting products on sale and featuring them in your shop and on your website, so we want to do some work around that as well. User accounts is a big one, and this is kind of already been designed, ready to go. And so having clients, the end users, being able to log in, see historic purchases, and then store their credit card details and things like that as well. So it's just quicker for people to come and rebuy. And then that'll be able to launch us through into setting up subscription sales and all those sorts of things, so people can sign up for a subscription and then have their credit card charged every month or every year, and then they can manage their subscription as well. So that's a bit longer term thing, but yeah, user accounts should be really nice, so that they within a few clicks can actually reorder without having to enter all that information every time they come into order. So that'll be really nice as well. Another one we've got coming up is TradeGecko. TradeGecko is a really nice wholesale system. So for those people who are selling wholesale and need a stock inventory system for wholesale, we're looking to connect in with TradeGecko. The other thing that TradeGecko does nicely is then they connect up with eBay and Amazon and all of these other systems, TradeMe. So wholesalers can sell off their website, but can then also sell off all these other platforms as well. So TradeGecko will be a really nice integration that we'll be looking to do soon. And finally, and this is one just for our design partners who've asked for it a lot, is being able to copy stacks. So when you're building a site, you've got a stack, you've designed it really nicely, and you want that stack on multiple pages. You can just click a button and say which pages you want it to go on. And so then those pages those stacks will all be linked from that main stack. And if you make a change on that main stack, then that will change across all of the pages as well. So this will be really nice for building footers. So you can build a footer which has linked pages and all those sorts of things, and any changes to that you change in one place, it will change across the whole site. But also just for featured stacks as well. So some people will have, maybe a testimonial stack, or maybe a stack of featured products, but they want that on 3 or 4 different pages. So you'll be able to copy those stacks across multiple pages as well. So that's something that lots of our design partners have been asking for recently, so something we want to give as well. So finally, just want to quickly explain our brand new support system. When you guys log in, down in the bottom corner here, there's a little help icon that you'll be able to see. If you click on the I anywhere on the site, you'll be brought to this help center where you can go to our help guides, you can contact Rocketspark, and also view all of the past conversations that you've had with us, and your clients will be able to view the past conversations they've had with us as well. So it's just a much nicer system that we're using now. The little help widget that you have down the bottom, that'll ask you to search support guides first, and then ask you to leave us a message. So it's just making sure that you've checked all of those support guides. And this is what our new support center looks like as well. So it's just a much nicer layout, much more intuitive. When you search, the search is much better as well. So if I go into, say, getting started here, we've then got some subcategories, and the most used guides are at the top. If we go back into editing your website, there's a few different categories here, and then there's all the other articles that you can see as well. So and then once I've clicked into an article, then I can easily click into other articles that are also in the same section. So it's just going to be a much nicer way for people to browse the articles. It's a much nicer layout. It's easier for us to add new articles, which will mean we'll be able to add them quicker. And also just this whole system of answering emails and things like that will be much nicer, much more streamlined, things like that. So make sure you and your clients are using the help center as well, because there is a heap of helpful information there, and it's going to be a much nicer way to contact us from now on. So that's all the features I had to show. I know Matt's been answering heaps of questions as we've gone, but if anyone's got any other questions, feel free to flick them through now. Sounds like everybody's really looking forward to the copy stacks, which is great, and we're looking to launch that soon-ish. The designs have all been done for that, so it's just a matter of when that comes through from the team. But yeah, if anyone has any other questions, please feel free to let us know. If you want to email us with any questions as well, and we'll try and keep you updated on where things are at and what we're working on. Just to jump back to those the roadmap. So at the moment we are working on Lay-By and ZipPay. We're working on Go Sweet Spot at the moment. Coupons, pick-up shipping options, and featured products are about to be started, and then user accounts is next after that. So we're going to do a bit of a push on our shop, and then after that we'll be looking at Trade Gecko and Copy Stacks, but I have a feeling Copy Stacks will be before Trade Gecko anyway. And there's always other little things we're doing in the background as well. So we're never kind of sitting still on anything like that. So thanks so much for checking in, and for those of you who came a little bit late, you can go back and rewatch the first part of the webinar as well. And if you do want to rewatch the webinar, then just let me know, and we can you should be able to get access to that and rewatch it and go back and cover anything that you might have missed or needed some extra thoughts on as well. Cool, thanks team, and have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll chat again soon.